Crack, welcome back. It's your favourite egg, GFA, and today we're going to talk about how to make a lot of Roubles fast in Escape from Tarkov. Let's get straight into it. Now, it's no secret that when you unlock the flea market in Escape from Tarkov, you can burn through your Roubles at an astronomical speed, upgrading your hideout or building meta loadouts. So you need your bank account to be deeper than Hermione's backpack. To achieve this, we're going to look at scav runs. We want to hit two macros here, money earned to time spent. We want to spend as little time in raid as possible so that our scavs can respawn whilst we are filling our booty with looty. The specific map we want to talk about today is Shoreline. We're going to do 4 back-to-back scav runs, and we're going to compare the Roubles we start with the Roubles we end with and figure out how much we are earning per raid on average. Seems good? We're looking at keeping the raids below 8 minutes long and making around 200,000 Roubles per raid. Now, you want to aim to hit around 5 to 6 stashes per raid, and bear in mind that I will be selling the majority of what I find on the flea market. So if you're not level 15 yet, just bear in mind that you might not make quite as much as I do in this video without the flea, but that will come, okay? And you'll still make a hefty profit selling to the traders. Speaking of which, before we start, if you are a bit of a newer player or you're a beginner at this game and you don't know where any of the stashes on Shoreline are and you'd quite like a tutorial on that, link in the description. I've released a video today that accompanies this one that shows every single stash location and how to find them on Shoreline, which may very well help you follow the runs we're going to do today. I will be doing more of those stash tutorials for all of the maps on Tarkov, so if that interests you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button and even leave a comment on what map you would like to see next. So, Shoreline. Now, if you know anything about Shoreline, you know there's an abundance of stashes dotted all around the map, and 9 times out of 10, you're unlikely to run into any hostile PMC players on these routes. What's great is how close these stashes are and how perfectly they line up for any of the scav extracts that you're going to have. This allows us to run a specific route regardless of the spawn position. I'd highly recommend checking out mapgenie.io for Escape from Tarkov. It has some amazing tools that will help you so much with your raids, including this one. You can filter out all types of things, as you can see here, so make sure to head over there and check that out. It's not an ad, they don't sponsor this or anything. It's just a really great site for maps and for questing on Tarkov, so link in the description if that interests you down below. To quickly touch on the spawn locations, you are almost always going to spawn in one of these 3 circles as a scav. Regardless of where you spawn, you have a great line of stashes to hit on your way to extract. Just make sure to check your extracts as soon as you spawn in, so you know where you're going to be going. You're almost always going to have at least one of these 4 locations to extract at. So we have North Fence Passage, Road to Customs, Ruined Road, and then Sviatli Dead End. So you've kind of got the top right or the bottom left of the map that will always be available to you. So no matter where you spawn, you can run a lovely route of these stashes and then get out relatively safely. As you can see here at the top right, I am starting with 1,191,014 Roubles. So let's see what we can find and how much we can earn on scav raid number 1. Right, so we've spawned up here at the resort. I would highly advise against looting the resort as a scav because the risk to reward just is not worth it. We don't have any of the keys for the higher tier rooms, and we very rarely have the best equipment to take on any geared chads, PMCs. If you're lucky, you might find a dead juice head somewhere, but whoever killed that player would have most definitely taken the best stuff. Plus, any chads that are still in raid will almost certainly be inside the resort. The first stash I'll hit here is to the east of the resort. As you can see, it's a pretty decent start. We're then going to turn around and head down the back here and quickly check the house on the hill. There's usually quite a good chance of decent weapon spawns in these boxes, and it usually goes unlooted. So yeah, make sure to check that. From here, we're going to head south to the bottom of the power line. You're looking for the one with the bush. Get your mind out the gutter. But inside of the bush is where we're going to find the goodies. Okay, that one's on me. That one's on me. From here, we're then going to continue our trip to the east, and there's a small stash on the hill just up here. Once we've hit that, we're going to make our way to the radio tower to the south. Again, look for the bush against the chain-linked fence, and you'll find the buried barrel. Finally, we're then going to just head northeast-ish, and there's a stash next to the border, nearby the railway line in the shrubs next to these 2 trees. Now, there are 2 more stashes that are relatively close by, but I'm pretty happy with what I have managed to pick up. We managed to hit 5 stashes, and I can't actually carry too much more, so we're going to head to extract. As you can see, that only took us 8 minutes and 11 seconds, and that actually was with me faffing around a little bit trying to show you the stash locations, so you can definitely run these a little quicker. I sold most of what we found, but I decided to keep a few bits for quest items, barters, and hideout upgrades. If you are purely looking for Roubles here, you'll actually earn a fair amount more than me by selling everything. That being said, at the end of raid number 1, we do now have 1,439,078 Roubles, meaning we made 248,064 profit. That's not bad considering we kept a lot of stuff. So that being said, let's jump into raid 2 and see what we get this time. We actually spawn here in the exact same location again, so I will speed through this footage as it's the exact same route as before, and you're going to want to stick around to the end to see what I found in the last raid, by the way. But let's just say we found something spicy in raid number 4, and to be honest, it shows how good these stashes can be. As you can see, I found a nice MP7 and a few other bits as well to sell, so let's get out of here. This time, the raid only took us 7 minutes and 24 seconds, so that's nice and speedy. Upon selling everything I wanted to, we now sit at 1,615,977 Roubles, making raid number 2's profit 176,899 Roubles. A little lower than usual, but still a decent haul for 7 minutes of light work. So let's go straight into raid number 3. Now, annoyingly on raid number 3, we spawn in the exact same place again. However, this time we don't have road to customs, meaning we can actually hit a lot more stashes that you haven't seen yet on the way to Ruined Road. I'll speed up the footage here, and we're just going to have a look at a couple of the spots that we haven't seen yet and what loot I get out with. Okay, here we go. So after selling what we found in that raid we just did, and the price this bag will sell at because I'm impatient, we now stand at 1,869,351 Roubles, making our profit for this raid 249,374. A nice hefty haul for raid number 3. So let's just jump into this final raid. This one's a little bit different. So raid number 4 was a much quicker raid, and you'll see why. This time we spawn at the weather station, which makes a change. I quickly checked the safe inside the weather station as it rarely gets checked unless someone's actually spawned nearby. And there's a good chance of flash drive spawns, which I need for a quest at the moment. So sadly no flash drives this time, but we do get a cheeky teapot. And being British, that is top drawer. I then make my way down to the nearest stash to me when I suddenly spot movement in my peripheral vision. I can tell it's another player, which piques my interest, but I can't tell if it's a scav or a PMC. For any new players, as a scav, you do not want to kill other scavs or player scavs because it gets your scav rep down, and you want to keep your scav rep up. Trust me, there's some really good bonuses for doing it. Now this player begins to shoot randomly and appears to have a second weapon on their back. Now I have to admit, if I had spawned with like an SV98, an SKS sniper, a grenade, something with a scope that was accurate, I would have taken a shot if this was a PMC, or maybe even chased them down. But thank God for my buckshot shotgun, because it forced me to make my mind up to not engage this player, and it turned out to be a great decision, because in our first stash, I found a freaking Slick, dude. Slick is level 6 armor. It sells to Ragman for 232,190 Roubles alone, and it's considered one of the best armors in the game. However, I will be keeping this and not selling it to Ragman for my live streams, where I will undoubtedly lose it to a grenade again. And that's just the way Tarkov goes. Either way, my goal for the raid has now changed. I just want to survive because I want to get this slick out to use on stream. So on our way to extract, we will check one more stash and we get some mayo. So nothing amazing. And then we can just run our way to Ruin Road and get out of there. After selling what we didn't want to keep, this final raid left us with 1,961,693. That makes our profit only 89,409 rubles this time. However, bear in mind the slick, as soon as I picked it up, I just wanted to get out the raid and I'm keeping it, I'm not selling it. So if I had checked a few more stashes, I would have made many more rubles. So let's look at the final stats. We've made it to the end here. We started with 1,191,014 rubles and we've ended with 1,961,693 rubles. That makes our difference 770,679 rubles. We could have easily made well over 1 million rubles in these 4 raids if I'd just sold everything I found. And let me reiterate, 4 8-minute raids, over 1 million rubles. It's easy work. Regardless, that brings our average to 192,669 rubles. If you run these every time you have a spare 10 minutes in game, whether that's between your PMC raids or during your lunch break, not only will you find some amazing stuff in these stashes on Shoreline, you will also find items for your quest and hideout upgrades, and it will make you a lot of very quick, very easy rubles, as you've seen. There's no other map that even comes close to this one, purely for time spent to money earned. That 8-minute raid time, the respawn time of your scav, and the amount of profit you can make, and the rarity of the items, there's just nothing like it. None of the other maps have stashes that are this built up and so easy to run. And that will do us. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to check the description and head over to my other Shoreline video that I've just dropped as well, showing all the stash locations. This will help you maximize the money you earn on your scav raids, because you might find some stashes you didn't even know about. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving me a cheeky little thumbs up, and consider subscribing. Join the family if you think I've earned it. It also means you won't miss any future content from me, which is I mean, that might not be good news actually. And last thing, make sure to come and check out my live streams on Mondays and Wednesdays, and come and talk to me in person. Let's have a chat. We can talk about house prices, politics. Does pineapple belong on pizza? Why do vans always land soul side down when you chuck them no matter what? So I hope to see you there on a Monday or a Wednesday. And until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day. Have a great week, and I will see you very soon. GFA, signing off.
Who's that?
Can't tell. He's in the mask again. Is it Gollum? Is it Gandalf?
Ask your friend.
Yeah, well you can ask your mum, cause I heard her screaming out last night. It's GFA. And we don't hydrate, we don't posture check, cause we want that cake.